Order for breaking news, Kessie and Amesan Nina Brem, I will Ghana order for breaking news. Just say, in summer, El Coso Ghana Hano, I know the year, Padisano Casano, a former GRA boss, Ghana Revenue Authority, GRA boss. Sisiano, you are banning for 5 good years from public office. Yesi sikatwitwi die bi afa ne nsase ne hu akwakobo sikatwitwi die bi a akoso awo GRA intisi amene okasa no eye former GRA boss isi anu ya banning for 5 good years from public office intisi anu ontumi nya ban adwuma bia biu for 5 good years because yesi we disika emu odrupan orofo sisi a de John Mani Mahama ene ndisi aban omani abriye pound enkofo omadi sika pan e previous government ni mu no ene je say current government here koso no wa wodo sabeka sika ne de yemfa ye ho nche okra John Mani Mahama we see na bi say onfo obia ne ho nche ne kra ntisi amene okasa no former GRA boss ne ho aye hye pan adisi ani ya ban kese pan e de ato ne so for 5 good years from public office onya abayeduma bio for the past 5 good years akopem say obeye hwehwemu awie no mehu se disi ano ne ho embon ewo nsem na ye de afore ne ho nyina no sikatwitwi di afa ne nsase a chese na abantama na oye GRA boss no sika bia wedi no ano ohye nti se abane no for 5 good years from public office. Therefore, when they say in summer air cost den a mensu meji ni nyina bro e wo Ghana to therefore meso say obedi mechi na ya kwakwaje sansem wo nyina inchem e wo Ghana to niam regisia.
Forensic audit in relation to the 13th All Africa Games, but we'll move away from that and get into other subject matters right now because the troubles of immediate past Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Reverend Dr. Amishadai Usuamwa, appear far from abating. The former GRA boss, who is under investigations by the Office of the Special Prosecutor, is now to serve a 5-year disqualification from public office after Sraj found him complicit in procurement breaches during his time as GRA boss. The Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice, Sraj, says its investigations into a petition arising over the purchase of vehicles found Dr. Usuamwa liable for causing financial loss to the state to the tune of some 8.7 million cedis. He has subsequently been referred to the Attorney General for prosecution. And this afternoon, we'll walk you through some of the findings and what the decisions have been by the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice right now. And we'll get into those details right now for you, what the findings were, just brief details because it's a 157-page report. And obviously, we can't bore you with all of the details, but of importance is that he's been found liable of causing financial loss to the state to the tune of some 826,000 plus US dollars. If you work the math into cedis, 8.9, almost 9 million cedis is what is attributable to him in terms of causing financial loss to the state. But of the decision that has been arrived at by Sraj, they say that the respondents, being Reverend Dr. Amishadai Usuamwa, be disqualified from holding any public office for all periods of 5 years from the date of this decision. And so a 5-year ban, you can call it that, from holding public office. And also, the commission is referring him, as well as the directors of the 3 companies, because there were 3 companies involved in all of these procurement processes, to the Attorney General for possible prosecution and the recovery of the sum of this near 9 million that we see as loss to the state. And then, and so these are the details in terms of what it is that the Sraj, the Commission of Human Rights and Administrative Justice, has found against the former Sraj boss. Let's speak to the chief crusader of the Crusaders Against Corruption Ghana, Emmanuel Wilson Jr., on this latest. Mr. Wilson, I appreciate you speaking to us. Having read excerpts of the report, what do you make of the findings against the former GRA boss? A thorough work done, or a lot more room in terms of what was presented to them in their own investigative work. Mr. Wilson, can you hear us? Mr. Wilson,
can you hear me?
Yes,
I can hear you.
Did you hear my question as well?
Can you repeat the question, please?
I'm asking what you've made of the entirety of the report, with the understanding that you've read it. You think good enough work done?
Well, I will obviously not want to underestimate or underrate any state institutions' work, knowing very well that the tools and what information is available to them, I may not be so much privy to. We want to believe in state institutions. So the report that has come out, I want to say that yes, as far as SUBCRIBE is concerned, this is the report they have given. We are supposed to work with it. So a different or a contrary report. Now, having said that, after going through the report, it's a bit amazing. Amazing that such things are happening in this country. When over the past period we've been talking about the best avenue to fight corruption, it looks like we are not making significant progress as far as our expectations are concerned. The other thing that is of a worry to me is the fact that we have to always wait for a change in government because before this opportunity comes up. Right from this time, we had to get the benefit of knowing some of this route taking place under Rollins's era only when Kufuor came into office. The same thing happened. We got to know a bit more of the route taking place under Kufuor only when Atamos came into office. And it has been the same thing today as we speak. If we do not take care, knowing very well that human institutions are always exposed to corruption and corruption-related matters, it is very likely, and I will not be surprised, that whether 4 years, 8 years, 15 years, whatever years, after the MDC has left office, there's a higher possibility that we may be experiencing similar things. And so it actually raises an issue. The issue is, what is it as a country that we are not doing right? That seems like we're having the same thing reoccurring over and over and over. And if you ask what exactly we are doing which is not right, I will be quick to tell you that our approach in fighting corruption is what we are doing and doing it wrongly. We are adopting a reactive approach over the past years instead of adopting a proactive approach. The proactive approach talks about building systems to prevent the occurrence of that. How come Anisha Dai could, be in part of such role? Even internally, GRA, didn't they have finance officer? Didn't they have internal auditor? Didn't they have an accountant? Didn't they have an administrator? What exactly happened to the internal system, the internal structure, to the extent that just one person in the name of the Director General, if I got his title right, will be able to engage in such roles? What's happening to the public procurement? Because in every institution, aside the public procurement authority, every public institution is supposed to have a procurement department headed by a procurement officer. What happened to that procurement department? Internally, it is clear that the system has become so polarized to the extent that it breeds corruption. And for me, that is what we need to be looking at as a country.
That you mentioned that the fact that it appears the internal processes are non-existent, which allows these individuals to continue to engage in the breaches which is recorded every year, and even moving beyond this to the Public Accounts Committee sittings and many other instances of such nature. There appears to be a lack of national learning and also a lack of possible reforms as to addressing these matters.
I agree perfectly with you. That is also one thing that is affecting us. Our lack of reform. It stems from the fact that we pretend, and when I make reference to we, I'm making reference to the leaders that have the ability to cause this reform. Parliament, what is happening to them? Public Accounts Committee, which is a subset of Parliament, what is happening to them? In fact, when it goes to Parliament, we have committees that are supposed to be in charge, specifically in charge of various sectors of our economy. So the committee that is supposed to ensure that this thing will not even reoccur. What happens to that committee? We are also talking about other institutions such as the Auditor General Department. What happens to that? So clearly, the reforms that need to be done are reforms that are supposed to be championed. By this same individuals who, for whatever reason, have created the impression to me personally that when the system is weak as it is or polarized as it is, they are comfortable because they benefit from it. I'll give you a typical example. How many years on have we talked about reforming our 92 Constitution? What has happened to it? You see, when you look at the 92 Constitution, for instance, it centralized power. It gives power so much to the executive led by the president of any given day. When you centralize power, it becomes difficult for the people.
Well, we have a review process ongoing right now, and so perhaps there will be some work done in that respect. But we'll have to end the conversation here. I appreciate you speaking to us, Mr. Wilson, and I'm sure there'll be another forum where we can begin to expand on questions about whether or not enough reforms are being undertaken, because not the first time a matter of such a nature has come up about procurement breaches and the likes. But we'll bring you some other stories here on News Central.
Now, residents in East Gonja municipality of the Savannah region are demanding urgent government intervention to resolve what they describe.
Other for when you breaking news about to former GRA boss, I friend Doctor Amwa ono ana disi anu ho aba asem dindindin a disi amena okasa ya ban for 5 years in public office. Other for disi anu sa doctor no former GRA boss no enya ade obetumi aye aban adwuma bia biom for the past 5 good years. Other for 5 good years o da na nini ontumi nya aban adwuma bia biom because of insembi mu akoso etia no. Yesi ordinance akwakobo aban sika mu a eni kwan se ordinance aka wakwa akodi sika emu edu enti si a na yesi onte na bench ya ban ne for 5 good years enya ade obey aban adwuma bia bio for 5 good years odofo we ensem a abeto dwa meso begi ni nyina odofo enti se wankasa uye adwuma na se ban for 5 years a etisen na wankasa kra no uye adwuma na jefan fancy bia ya ban for 1 month impo etisen 2 months impo etisen 1 year impo etisen ena pole 5 good years ugita nkola na adide na obeye odofo disi amena okasa ne yesi odenesa abo aban sikemu a wedi sika ne nyafu sika no so enye sika keto emu odu enti disi amena okasa ne ya ban no for 5 good years from public office. Odofo when you breaking news about to be am so be nyina bro e wo Ghanatube from me fi like na ma subscribe no ma share no ma hit notification bell so ma say the bear bring bia do pay content say ya wo nya ne tempa no ahwe ni tem odofo aha e na me den sem nyina be si e wo Ghanatube so odofo makra mu nyina beda mu nyina se bebre.